then you repeat after me. Okay? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Very nice. So this is the mantra we recite every time when we are going to start any auspicious activity. Then we recite Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya mantra. So we'll read today importance of Tulsi Mata. Tulsi. Tulsi is a plant. Everybody knows Tulsi, right? In Bharatvarsha, we worship Tulsi. In Canada, we don't see much Tulsi plant here. But fortunately, if you see on our altar, between Radha Brajavatsal and Jagannath Baldev, you see the plant there? That is a Tulsi plant. So Tulsi does grow in our temple. But in the winter climate, Tulsi doesn't grow much. But we are lucky, we are blessed by Lord Krishna to have some Tulsi here. So what is the importance of Tulsi? Why people in India worship Tulsi? And what is the effect of Tulsi on our physical as well as on the spiritual aspects of life? So we are going to learn that from Puranas. So one Purana we are going to refer is Srimad Bhagavatam, and another scripture is Brahma Vaivadya Purana. So we are going to refer to the two Puranas today. And we're going to learn something scientific aspects of Tulsi also, that what is the importance of Tulsi as per medicinal aspects also. Right. So Tulsi in English language is called as? Okay, anybody else want to say something? Your basil is correct, but there is something more to it called holy basil, because there are different types of basils. There is Italian basil, there is African basil, but the Tulsi or basil which comes from India is called as holy. The name itself sounds holy, right? Now holy basil is not named by you and me, but it is named by the people. The scientific word has named it as holy basil, because there is a holy aspect to it. And that is what we are going to learn today. So there is a shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. Do you all know the book Srimad Bhagavatam? The Srimad Bhagavatam was written by Maharishi Vedvyas, and there are total 12 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam. And today we are going to refer to one of the volume, which is the third volume, third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Before we read from Srimad Bhagavatam about Tulsi, I will recite a prayer to offer respects to Vedvyas ji. Everybody knows Vedvyas? Yeah. All the Vedic scripture we are indebted to Vedvyas ji. If Vedvyas would not have been there, all the scriptures would not have been there. So all the Vedas, how many Vedas? 4 Vedas. Then Puranas. How many Puranas? 18 Puranas. Then Upanishads. How many Upanishads? 108 Upanishads. And then Mahabharata. Right? How many shlokas in Mahabharata? 100,000 shlokas. 1,00,000 shloka. Then Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. How many shlokas in Bhagavad Gita? 700 shlokas. And then at the end he wrote summary of all this literature. He compiled that into Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So here is the Bhagavatam here. That's the book. But there are 12 volumes of this. This is only one volume. But there are 12 of those. And then there is Bhagavad Gita separately. So Vedvyas ji, we are indebted to him. So we are going to pay respects to Vedvyas ji. So here is the prayer. I will recite for the benefit of all of us. Narayanam namaskrutyam naram chaiva narottamam devi saraswati vyasam tato jayamudire nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatim uttama shloke bhaktira bhavati naishtaki. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is an ultimate benediction. It's the blessing of Lord Krishna upon all of us. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but Lord Krishna himself And if Lord Krishna had to come and sit next to you, he cannot give you anything more than Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is as good as Lord Krishna sitting next to all of us. So in this Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a conversation. Vedic literature is a dialogue, it's not a monologue, which means that it's not like just I talk and you listen. Right? Like Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue. What is the dialogue between whom? Krishna and Arjuna. So Arjuna asking and Krishna replying. Right? It is not Krishna talking and Arjuna listening. Does it happen like that? No. How do you learn in your schools and universities? Is it monologue or dialogue? Mostly monologue? Monologue. So monologue you don't learn anything. Is that right or wrong? Because most of the time in monologue you go to sleep. Huh? ठीक है ना? Can you? Because when I tell, I just keep on talking and there is no interaction, which means that nothing happening. So similarly in Srimad Bhagavatam also there is a dialogue, and this dialogue is happening between the sadhus, saintly people who accumulated. You see here there are a lot of saints sitting on the ground, and there is one saint who is sitting on the top. So one who is sitting on the top is answering the questions of all other sages. This happened about 5,000 years ago at the beginning of Kali Yuga, so about 5,000 years ago, in Naimisharanya, which is there in Uttar Pradesh. Place is still there. So there the sages assembled, and their leader was Shaunak Rishi, and he was asking questions to one more sage whose name is Sutta Goswami. So there is a question answer which is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, and there is also Srimad Bhagavatam is also question answer between two great personalities, Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. So one sitting on the ground, on the floor, is Parikshit Maharaj here, and on the top is on the Vyasasana is Shukdev Goswami. So again it's a dialogue, question answer. Right? And then similarly there is a dialogue between two people, Vidura and Maitreya. These are also two great personalities. So we are going to learn from the dialogues of different people. So when you talk, somebody asks a question, and then like say you meet somebody after a long time, then you ask a question, he will answer. So here the dialogue is between Vidura and Maitreya. So Vidura is nothing but he was a prime minister of Kauravas or Pandavas, like Dhritarashtra's younger brother, his stepbrother was Vidura. You know the Mahabharata a little bit, right? So Vidur is asking questions to Maitreya, and Maitreya is answering those questions. So in that, Maitreya Rishi is explaining about the Vaikuntha Loka. This world is the Prithvi Loka, but there is a spiritual world which is the Vaikuntha Loka. So in the Vaikuntha Loka, Maitreya Rishi is answering and explaining what is the situation there, how does it look like. Right? So Maitreya Rishi is telling that in Vaikuntha Loka, it's a beautiful Loka where everybody looks just like Lord Vishnu actually. Like we all look different here, right? Your appearance is, somebody's white, somebody's black, somebody's brown, yellow, like different colors people have. And everybody's face is different, language is different, everything is different. But in Vaikuntha Loka, everybody is same looking like Lord Vishnu. Four-armed form. Everybody has the same form like Lord Vishnu. The only difference between the Vaikuntha Loka servants and the master is Vishnu or Lord Krishna, and the servants are all the Vaikuntavasis. The people of citizens of Vaikuntha are called Vaikuntavasis. So they are always serving Krishna. And then there are lots of plants, lots of beautiful flowers. And this is the shloka which describes the flowers there. So I'm going to recite, and then you can repeat after me. This is from 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 15th chapter, 19th shloka. So you can repeat after me. Mandara, Kunda. So these are the names of the flower, right? So Mandara, Kunda, Kuraba, Utpala, Champaka, Arna. So these are all the names of flowers. This is Sanskrit written in English for the benefit of all of us. Then Punanga, Naga, Bakula, Ambuja, Parijata. So these are all different flowers in Vaikuntha Loka. So here Maitreya Muni is saying that in Vaikuntha world there are beautiful flowers, and all these flowers have what speciality? Gandhe, Archite. So these flowers have beautiful fragrance. We offer different flowers to Lord Krishna. You can see some flowers here in front of Krishna. Some real flowers, some artificial flowers. Flowers are very expensive in Canada, by the way. Very, very expensive. Who works in Walmart here? Anybody works here? Yeah? Very expensive flowers. Is that right? Yeah. Like one carnation, 25 cents. That is cheaper, smaller carnation. If you buy bigger carnation, like 75 cents. One flower. So if you decide to offer like 10 flowers to Krishna every day, you have $10 budget. So in the month you have like $300 budget for the flowers. That's like your rent probably. So flowers are very expensive, and roses are more expensive, like fragrant. So these are carnations. Carnations have no smell actually. Carnations don't have any fragrance. Only reason we offer carnations to Lord Krishna because they are flowers, and second is that they are cost effective. And they are readily available, and they are long lasting actually. They last at least like 8, 10 days, 15 days like that. But if you really decide to offer rose every day, it's very expensive and not available also sometimes. But here in this shloka says in Vaikuntha world there are beautiful flowers. And what are those flowers? Like Mandara, Kunda, Kurba, Utpala, Champaka, Arna, Punanga, Naga, Bakula, Ambuja, Parijat. These are beautiful flowers. And they have a lot of fragrance. But here Maitreya Rishi is telling that Tulsika arbhena tasya, Tulsika arbhena tasya, Yasmin tapaha sumanasho bahumanyati. So here Maitreya Rishi is saying that although the flowering plants like Mandara, Kunda, Kurbaka, Utpala, Champaka, Arna, Punaga, Nagakeshara, Bakula, Lily, Parijat, they are full of transcendental fragrance. What is they saying? Tulsika. Tulsika means Tulasi. Tulsi also has a flower. Do you know Tulsi has a flower? Like मंजरी जो रहती है तुलसी के ऊपर, उसको फ्लावर कहते हैं. वो तुलसी का फ्लावर है. उसमें कोई ऐसा दिखने में बहुत ब्यूटीफुल नहीं है, लेकिन क्या कहते हैं तो they are still conscious of the austerities performed by Tulsi, for Tulsi is given special preference by Lord, who garlands himself with Tulsi leaves. Right? So in the Vaikuntha Loka, even though all these flowers they are giving beautiful fragrance, the garland which is worn by Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna is Tulsi flower. So Tulsi has a very special importance in the spiritual world also. So we are going to talk about importance of Tulsi, then why to worship Tulsi, and then how to worship Tulsi. Right? So Tulsi or Tulsi Devi, her importance is explained in various Puranas, and it is said that Tulsi is the pure devotee of Lord who has taken the form of a tree and is very dear to Lord Vishnu. If you go to India, in villages also, nowadays not in the cities, but in the villages, a lot of houses in front yard, they have Tulsi plant. Right? Tulsi ka kyara rehta hai. Aapne dekha. There was a movie, Tulsi Mere Aangan Ki, olden times. So Tulsi is there in front yard of many of the plants, and then devotees, they circumambulate around the Tulsi plant. Pradakshina karte hain. देखा है आपने? तुलसी की प्रदक्षिणा करते हैं, तुलसी की पूजा भी करते हैं, और तुलसी का जो गार्लैंड है वो बना के भगवान को ऑफर करते हैं. तुलसी सिर्फ भगवान विष्णु को या भगवान कृष्ण को ऑफर की जाती है. यू कैनॉट ऑफर तुलसी टू गणेश जी और लॉर्ड शिवा. तुलसी cannot be offered to any other devi devtas. Tulsi can be offered only to Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. Vishnu Tattva, right? So who are the Vishnu Tattvas? So Lord Krishna, Lord Ramachandra ji, Narsimha, Vamana, all these are Vishnu Tattvas. So we can offer them Tulsi, but we cannot offer to anybody else. No other devi devtas can be offered Tulsi. Right? Why is that so? Because Tulsi is married to Lord Vishnu. So that is why Tulsi Shaligram Viva. Tulsi Viva means on that day Tulsi got married to Lord Vishnu.
Calling Sandeep Joshi.
Oops.
Home.
Oh my God. How is that happened? My Siri recognized something, my sound. Anyway. So Tulsi, people wear the Tulsi neck beads also. आपके तुलसी माला पहनते हो आप लोग? नहीं पहनते. You have Tulsi mala? You have Tulsi mala? No? So people wear the Tulsi neck beads also around their neck. Why? Because when you wear the Tulsi neck bead, it gives your body a touch of Lord Krishna's blessing. So suppose you are wearing Tulsi bead and all of a sudden, you never know when you're going to die, right? Death can come at any moment. But it is said in the scriptures that if you are wearing the Tulsi bead and if you die, then Vishnu Dutas come and receive you, not Yama Dutas. So that is why. And then when you touch the Tulsi to the neck, then it gives you a blessing. Whatever you speak with the touch of Tulsi. So you try to speak sensible. So that is the importance of Tulsi. People also use the Tulsi beads for making japamalas, right? So ये जो जपमाला है, ये भी तुलसी की बनती है. आप लोग के पास है जपमाला? You have जपमाला? नहीं? So इसके ऊपर meditation करते हैं. Meditation is like you do like this. You chant on each bead. So तुलसी का नेक बीड बनता है, जपमाला बनती है, भगवान को भी गार्लैंड ऑफर किया जाता है. और and Tulsi has lot of medicinal values also. Those people who take Tulsi after offering to Krishna, Tulsi you can take it after offering to Krishna. You cannot take it like that. Tulsi plant. So when you take Tulsi, then it improves the immunity of the body also. But that doesn't mean that you use Tulsi for medicinal values, but you have to use it for spiritual values. Sure, yeah. We have those gifts for you. Maybe we can give it to your friends. Any of your friends staying here at the back? Okay, you can come tomorrow also. Okay. Hare Krishna. So there is a legend behind the Tulsi plant. Is a story of Tulsi Shaligram Vivaha. You know the story of Tulsi Shaligram Vivaha? No? So this is the story from Brahma Vivarta Puran. So this story explains the marriage of Lord Krishna and Tulsi Mata. How Tulsi became a plant. So Tulsi was a person before, like a human being, right? So Tulsi, even she was a person, she accepted the form of a plant. And the story of that is given from this Puranas. If you ever go to Nepal, there's a river called Gandaki River. So in that river, by the river, there are special stones. These stones are called as Shaligrama Shilas. अगर आप वहाँ जाते हैं नेपाल में, गंदकी रिवर है वहाँ पे. और वहाँ ये स्पेशल शिलाएं मिलती है. इसको क्या कहते हैं? शालिग्राम शिला. ये शिला का क्या स्पेशलिटी है? तो all these Shaligram Silas, they have special markings on them. And these are not made by any human beings. Natural. Have you seen them? No. So you see those, some Shaligrams are called Matsya Shaligram, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha. So those Shaligrams have very special markings and people worship those Shaligram Shilas. Now why do they worship it? These Shaligrams are nothing but form of Lord Vishnu. And you don't find these Shilas anywhere else in the world. These are only found in Gandaki River, Nepal. And they have these special markings which are not, they are like some Shaligram Shilas have chakra. Some have one chakra, some have two chakras on them. And there is a significance for each of the markings. So you can go and Google, some people are selling these Shaligram Shilas online also, Amazon and all. And people worship them with love and devotion. Now the Purana Ityas behind this Shaligram Shila is the Tulsi and Shaligram. So there was a king whose name was Dharmadwaja. And this king's wife's name was Madhvi. Both of them, they did tapasya, austerity, and they got a girl who was nothing but incarnation of Mahalakshmi. And she was very beautiful right from the birth. So her name was kept as Tulasi. Tula means comparison. Nobody like her. You cannot compare her with anybody else. She was so beautiful. That is why her name is Tulasi. Tula means comparison. Nobody like her, which is Tulasi. She was so beautiful. But since childhood, she was attracted for the Krishna Bhakti. So she did tapasya, a long austerity, tapasya. And when Brahmaji was pleased with her tapasya, she asked Brahmaji that I want to get married to Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. So Brahmaji gave her a blessing that you will get married to Lord Krishna, but before that you will have to marry to a person whose name is Shankachuda, who was a demon by nature. So after you get married to Shankachuda and after Shankachuda's death, you will get married to Lord Vishnu. So this Shankachuda had done also austerity and he gained a lot of power and he had he has a very special protective armor on his chest. And the blessing he got from Lord Brahma was that he will not be killed unless and until his armor is broken and his wife's chastity is retained. So Tulsi was married to Shankachuda and Shankachuda was powerful because Tulsi's chastity was intact. She was very faithful to her husband. She never looked upon anyone else other than her husband. So because of the blessing, Shankachuda became very powerful and he was victorious. He defeated all the Devi Devtas. So Indra, Chandra, Surya, everybody was defeated by whom? Shankachuda. So all the Devi Devtas, they were scared. So they approached Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva said that, Hare Krishna, welcome, please have a seat. So all the Devi Devtas, they were tired of whom? Shankachuda. So they approached Lord Shiva. So Lord Shivji said that I cannot defeat him because he has been blessed by Brahma, but we have to go and take blessings of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu agreed to help all the Devi Devatas. So Lord Vishnu told Shivji that you go and challenge Shankachuda and engage him in the war. And when you are engaging him in the war, I will take care of the rest of the things. So Lord Shivji challenged Shankachuda that you come and fight with me. Nobody can fight with Lord Shiva. Right? He was very, if he opens his third eye, whole world is destroyed. Then what about Shankachuda? He's a little human being. But still, as he was blessed by Brahmaji, Shivji could not defeat him. So Shivji challenged Shankachuda and their fight was about to begin. At that time, Lord Vishnu took the form of Shankachuda and came to the place where Tulsi was staying. And as soon as Tulsi saw that her husband has come there, she became very happy. Because she was afraid that if her husband fights with Lord Shiva, then Shivji is very powerful. So she was worried about her husband's health. But as soon as she saw that her husband has come back, she touched her husband's feet. And as soon as she touched her husband's feet, that husband was no one else but Lord Vishnu himself. So she touched somebody other than her husband. So her chastity was broken. So the blessing which was given to Shankachuda, that as long as his wife's chastity is maintained, he will not be defeated. So chastity was broken. So Shankachuda was killed in the battle between Lord Shiva and Shankachuda. So he was defeated and he got killed. At that time, Tulasi got this feeling that something bad is happening. And she asked this person that, who are you? I don't think you are my husband, because I have an inner feeling that my husband is in trouble. So then Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu revealed himself that I am Lord Vishnu. So Tulsi became happy and sad at the same time, because her chastity was broken and her husband was killed. So Tulsi cursed Lord Vishnu that as you have become a stone-hearted and you have broken my chastity, so I give you a curse that you become a stone. And that is that Shaligram Shila. Right? So all these Shaligram Shilas are nothing but the curse of Tulsi to Lord Vishnu. Now Lord Vishnu, he is the Lord of universe. Nobody can curse him. But to please his devotee, he took a form of a stone. So those are the Shaligram Shilas which Lord took the form of after the curse of Tulsi. And at the same time, Lord also blessed Tulsi that with this body, you cannot come to the Golok Vrindavan Dham. So your body will remain here on the planet and your body will take form of a river. And the river will be called as Gandaki river. So that Tulsi's body became the river. And Lord Vishnu blessed her that your hairs will become the plants. So those plants are nothing but Tulsi plants. So this is the blessing of Lord Vishnu to Tulsi. And he said that I'm going to marry you on this particular day. As your chastity is broken and your desire was to marry me, and Lord Brahma already blessed her that after Shankachuda's death, whom do you get married? Lord Vishnu. So then that day, Tulsi got married to Shaligram. Right? So that is why Tulsi Shaligram Vivaha is celebrated on that particular day. So that particular day is nothing but Purnima of Kartik month, which was last Friday. not Friday, Thursday. Right? So that Purnima of Kartik month is the day on which Lord got married to Tulsi. Along with that, Lord blessed Tulsi that as you are taking this form of a plant, a leaf, so I give you a blessing that I will not accept any offerings without Tulsi leaf. इसलिए जब भी भगवान विष्णु को या भगवान कृष्ण को जब ऑफरिंग करते हैं तो उसमें क्या करते हैं? तुलसी का पत्ता ऐड करते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि भगवान ने तुलसी को आशीर्वाद दिया है कि विदाउट योर प्रेजेंस आई विल नॉट एक्सेप्ट एनीथिंग. Even the water also, if you want to offer to Krishna, then you have to add a tulsi leaf, tulsi patra add करते हैं, क्योंकि भगवान ने तुलसी को आशीर्वाद दिए हैं. और Lord Krishna blessed Tulsi saying that you are going to be the most dear to me. So if you want to really want to please Krishna, then you have to please Tulsi first. So unless and until Tulsi is pleased with you, Lord Krishna will not be pleased. There is also a story from Padma Puran where Shivji is explaining to Narad Muni about the importance of Tulsi. So Narad Muni asked Shivji what is the importance of Tulsi in the Bhakti. So you want to hear about this? Yes or no? No? You know about it? Okay. So here Lord Shivji is explaining, as you said you don't want to listen about it, so I'll go further. Right? So what does the Narad Muni says to Shivji? That what is the importance of Tulsi? And Shivji is explaining the importance of Tulsi to the Narad Muni. Then at the same time, Lord Shivji's son, his name is? What are the sons of name? Kartiki and Ganesh, right? So Kartikeya also asked Lord Shivji that you please tell me like why everybody is worshipping Tulsi. So Lord Shiva also answers to Kartikeya. Do you want to learn about it? Yes or no? Yeah. So Lord Shiva is saying to Kartikeya, Lord Krishna along with all other demigods lives where there is तुलसी. तो अगर आपके घर में तुलसी है तो सभी देवी देवता आपके घर में निवास करते हैं. कौन कहता है? शिव. भगवान शिव खुद कहते हैं कि मैं भी और भगवान कृष्ण भी और बाकी के सभी देवी देवता कहाँ रहते हैं? जहाँ तुलसी का निवास है. Wherever Lord Krishna is, Tulsi is there. For this reason, one should plant Tulsi Devi at one's home and offer daily worship. काफी लोगों के घर पे तुलसी रहती है. Further, Lord Shivji is telling to Kartikeya, one who puts into his mouth or on his head Tulsi leaves after they have been offered to Lord Krishna attains the abode of Lord Krishna. In the Kali Yuga, one who worships and performs kirtan in front of Tulsi burns up all his sinful reactions and attains Lord Krishna's abode very quickly. Actually, Lalit Prabhu is saying that he has Tulsi in his home. That's very nice. Thank you, Lalit Prabhu, for sharing that with me. Lalit Prabhu is joining us from Toronto. Thank you, Hemant Prabhu. Thank you, Parunji. Thank you, Dinesh Bhai, Badal Prabhu, Henry, Hemant Prabhu, Kristen, Nolinji joining us from Dubai. All the devotees are joining us from different parts of Canada and different parts of the world. Thank you so much for joining us online. So it is said that in Kali Yuga, this current age is Kali Yuga. One who worships and performs kirtan in front of Tulsi. अगर तुलसी रखते हैं आप उनके और if you worship or if you chant the mantra in front of Tulsi plant, then you will burn up all the sinful reactions very quickly and you attain the abode of Lord very quickly. So Tulsi is very, very dear to Lord Krishna. It has a purificatory value also. So if you have a Tulsi in your house, then there are positive vibrations in your house. Sometimes back, somebody had sent me a video on WhatsApp where they kept a magnetic field, and around the Tulsi plant there is a special magnetic field. You can test that. So it purifies the air also, being a plant. And if there is a Tulsi plant in your house, then Yamadutas will never come to your house. Always comes the Vishnu Dutas, like that. So Tulsi has a great significance in our life. There are mantras for Tulsi. जब आप तुलसी प्लांट देखते हैं तो आपको प्रणाम करना चाहिए तुलसी को. क्या करना चाहिए? प्रणाम करना चाहिए. क्यों? क्योंकि वो भगवान की सबसे प्रिय भक्त है. तो आप जब भी कोई भक्त को मिलते हैं तो प्रणाम करते हैं ना. जैसे आप शिव जी को मिलते हैं तो प्रणाम करते क्या नहीं? जब आप गणेश जी को मिलते हैं तो प्रणाम करते हैं. वैसे ही जब आप तुलसी माता को मिलते हैं, whenever you see Tulsi, you pay respects. Now there are mantras to offer Tulsi. So what is the mantra to offer Tulsi? So this is the mantra. You can repeat after me. Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priyai Keshavayascha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavataye Namo Namaha. So ये जो मंत्र है, you bow down to the Tulsi and then you offer this mantra. What is the mantra? So whole mantra is Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priyai Keshavaya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavataye Namo Namaha. तो अभी थोड़ी देर में हम तुलसी प्लांट यहाँ पे लाएंगे. प्रभु जी तुलसी प्लांट लेके आएंगे. सो आज हम तुलसी आरती भी करेंगे आप सब लोग. हाँ, तो आप हमने जितने भी पाप किए हैं उसका आज 0 काउंट करके कल से नया अकाउंट चालू कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, नए पाप कल से करने हैं ना. कर सकते हैं, आज 0 कर दिए थे. हाँ, तो तुलसी को प्रणाम करेंगे. सो व्हाट डज दिस मंत्र मीन्स? I offer my obeisances to Vrinda Srimati Tulsi Devi, who is very dear to Keshava. Keshav, Krishna, Priyai Keshavayascha, Krishna Bhakti Prati Devi, Satyavatai, who is very dear to Lord Keshava. O Goddess, you bestow devotional service to the Lord Krishna and possess the highest truth. So if you worship Tulsi, यहाँ पे रखेंगे आगे. हाँ, अभी नहीं, अभी लाके रखेंगे सिर्फ. और फिर कभी आप तुलसी के प्लांट के जो लीफ है वो भी कलेक्ट करते हैं ना. यू कलेक्ट द तुलसी लीव्स टू ऑफर इट टू कृष्णा, राइट. सो यू नेवर प्लक द लीव्स ऑन एकादशी डे और द्वादशी डे, एंड यू नेवर प्लक द लीव्स इन द इवनिंग टाइम्स. सो तुलसी की जो लीफ है वो सुबह ही करनी चाहिए. ऑफर भगवान को, तुलसी माता की पूजा करके फिर प्रार्थना या मंत्र करके फिर ऑफर करेंगे. हाँ, तो जब हम तुलसी लीफ कलेक्ट करते हैं तो उसका भी एक मंत्र है. जैसे कि मैं आपसे कुछ चीज़ लेता हूँ तो मैं आपकी परमिशन लेके ले सकता हूँ. आई कांट जस्ट टेक इट लाइक दैट. सो सिमिलरली वी हैव अ तुलसी प्लांट हियर, सो वी गोइंग टू ऑफर तुलसी आरती टुडे, एंड देन whenever we pluck the tree leaf from the tulsi, then there is a mantra here. So what is the mantra? You can repeat after me. तुलसी अमृत जन्मसि सदा त्वं केशव प्रिया केशवार्थ क्षिणोमि तं वरदा भव शोभणे. So here we are offering the mantra to Tulsi and saying that, "Oh Tulsi Mata, you were born from the nectar. You are always very dear to Lord Keshava. Now in order to worship Lord Keshava, I am collecting your leaves and manjaris. Please bestow your benedictions upon me." So in this way we are offering worship. And then we will do pradakshina of the Tulsi. तुलसी की प्रदक्षिणा करते हैं, है ना. तो उसका भी एक मंत्र है. क्या मंत्र है? So you can repeat after me. Yanikani Chapapani Brahmahatyadi Kanicha Tani Tani Pranakshanti Pradakshina Pade Pade. तो यहाँ पे हम तुलसी माता की प्रदक्षिणा करेंगे और उसमें ये मंत्र गाएंगे क्या? तो by circumambulation of Srimati Tulsi Devi, all the sins one may have committed are destroyed at every step. तो तुलसी माता की सुबह प्रदक्षिणा करनी है. अगर आप सुबह आएंगे यहाँ मंदिर में तो रोज हम तुलसी आरती करते हैं. रोज सुबह 7:45 बजे तुलसी आरती, 8 बजे भगवान की आरती होती है. तो आप रोज आ सकते हैं या सैटरडे संडे भी आ सकते हैं. सुबह की आरती के समय आप तुलसी प्रदक्षिणा भी कर सकते हैं. तुलसी माता के 8 नाम हैं और उसका भी एक श्लोक है, उसको कहते हैं अष्टनाम स्तव स्तोत्र. तो क्या नाम है? वृंदावनी वृंदा विश्वपूजिता पुष्पसारा नंदिना कृष्ण जीविनी विश्वपावनी तुलसी. So these are the 8 names of Tulsi. So वृंदावनी, आप अगर वृंदावन जाते हैं, वृंदावन मालूम है जगह? भारतवर्ष में दिल्ली के बाजू में प्लेस है, क्या कहते हैं उसको? वृंदावन. वृंदावन यानी कि वृंदा का वन, वृंदा यानी तुलसी. तुलसी का दूसरा नाम है वृंदावनी. वन यानी फॉरेस्ट. तो वहाँ पे बहुत सारे तुलसी के प्लांट हैं, वहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं. वृंदावनी मीन्स जो वृंदावन में रहती है, और वृंदा ये उनका नाम है. विश्व पूजिता, पूरा दुनिया जिसका पूजा करता है तुलसी की. फिर पुष्पसारा, पुष्पसारा मीन्स टॉप मोस्ट ऑफ ऑल द फ्लावर्स इज तुलसी. देन नंदिनी, नंदिनी इज द नेम ऑफ तुलसी, वन हु गिव्स द प्लेजर टू द डिवोटीज. कृष्ण जीविनी, लाइफ ऑफ लॉर्ड कृष्ण इज नथिंग बट तुलसी. तुलसी इज वेरी डियर टू लॉर्ड कृष्ण. विश्व पावनी, विश्व पावनी मीन्स वन हु प्यूरिफाइज द एंटायर वर्ल्ड, इट इज विश्व पावनी. एंड तुलसी, Tulsi means like no one her. She is one by herself. So these are the 8 names of Tulsi. So this is the Tulsi. And then there is a Tulsi Aarti and Tulsi Puja. So now we are going to do Tulsi Puja. So here is the Tulsi Aarti. We'll sing it while we are going to recite the, we are going to do Tulsi Puja. But before we do Tulsi Puja, first thing when you come there to do Tulsi Puja, you have to do is Achman. So we'll give you water. You wash your hands. And then one who is doing the Aarti, he will do the Achman. So first is you take the, you know Achman process? So with there is Achman Patra, you take the water in your right hand. And you say Keshvai Namaha, Madhvai Namaha, Narayanai Namaha, like that. So 3 times, right? So after do you Achman, then you do is you purify yourself, wash your hands, and then you offer first the incense, agarbatti, फिर धूप, sorry, दीप. इंसेंस को धूप कहते हैं. So धूप, फिर दीप और फिर फ्लावर. ऐसे 3 चीज ऑफर करनी है तुलसी को, है ना? तो आज हम तुलसी की पूजा करेंगे, तो आप सब लोग जुड़ सकते हैं तुलसी पूजा में. तो तीनों ऑफर करेंगे. क्या क्या ऑफर करेंगे? धूप, दीप और फ्लावर. तो आपके घर में भी तुलसी अगर आपके घर पे है तो ठीक है, नहीं है तो तुलसी का फोटो भी रख सकते हैं आप. यू कैन टेक अ लिटिल पिक्चर ऑफ तुलसी एंड do the puja also at your home. And if you do not have a plant, then you can take dry tulsi leaves also. हमारे मंदिर में ड्राई तुलसी लीव्स भी है, क्योंकि बहुत सारी तुलसी है, तो ड्राई तुलसी लीफ भी मिलती है. तो अगर वो ड्राई तुलसी लीफ भी आप भगवान के ऑफरिंग में रख सकते हैं. तो आप अगर भगवान को भोग लगाते हैं रोज? नहीं लगाते, नहीं लगाते. अपना ही खाने का तकलीफ है, भगवान को क्या लगाए. तो ठीक है. But it is recommended. Hemanji is asking, is there a place we can buy Tulsi in Canada? So Hemanji, you cannot buy Tulsi, but you can buy the seeds, or we can ship you the seeds. And then Shishi Gaunitai ki jai, Shishi Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki, Shishi Radha Vrajvasan ki, Shishi Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra ki. So Hemanji, we can send you some seeds. If you want, just send me your address and you can grow it. So we can, so if you are doing offering, अगर भगवान को भोग लगाते हैं घर पे, तो ड्राई तुलसी लीव्स भी भगवान को जब ऑफर करेंगे, या फ्रूट ऑफर करेंगे, या फिर दूध या पानी, जो भी आप ऑफर करेंगे भगवान को, तो उसमें थोड़ा ड्राई तुलसी लीफ भी डाल सकते हैं, क्योंकि भगवान तुलसी के बिना कुछ भी एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हैं. और जब आप अगर इफ़ यू वांट टू ग्रो तुलसी एट योर होम, देन देयर आर सर्टन थिंग्स रिक्वायर्ड. गुड लाइटिंग, sunlight is required. If you do not have sunlight, then nowadays there are plant lights also available, so you can use them. Then adequate water, not too much, not too less also. Then good soil, which has good fertilization, then you can grow the tulsi. And good humidity is required, so then you can grow tulsi. Otherwise, in the cold climate, tulsi doesn't survive. So now we are going to do Tulsi Aarti. So we request everybody to stand up and let's do the Tulsi Aarti together. Those who are online can join us online. And thank you so much, everyone. After doing the Tulsi Aarti, then we will do is we'll open the main altar and we'll do the main Aarti, Krishna Aarti. No? So here are the Tulsi mantras on the Tulsi Aarti mantras. You can come forward. You don't have to keep so much social distancing from Tulsi. Tulsi is not going to give COVID-19. Please come forward. आगे आ जाइए, तुलसी के आगे आ जाइए. We all will bow down and pay respects to Tulsi Mata. Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priyaya Keshuvaya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priyaya Keshuvaya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priyaya Keshuvaya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. So आइए हम तुलसी आरती करेंगे.
Namo Namah Tulasi Krishna Prayasi. Namo Namah Tulasi Krishna Prayasi. Namo Radha Krishna Seva Prabhu Abhilashi. Radha Krishna Seva Prabhu Abhilashi. Namo Namah Tulasi Krishna Prayasi. Namo Namah Tulasi Krishna Prayasi. Jito Mara Sharanala Taro Vacha Purna Hai. Jito Mara Sharanala Taro Vacha Purna Hai. Kripa Kari Karo Tare Vrindavan Vasi. Kripa Kari Karo Tare Vrindavan Vasi. Tulasi Krishna Prayasi. Namo Namah Tulasi Krishna Prayasi. Bodhaiya Dhiya Vilash Kunje Diyo Krishna Krishna Hare Hare